The song Save Me by Dave Matthews is a relatively straightforward song as far as most of the chords go until we get to the bridge. But what I want to start with here is the rhythm, because I think the rhythm may be one of the trickiest parts of the song to get down. It's based around eighth notes. So if you think about measures as being subdivided into eighth notes, you would have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. A lot of the strumming is focused on the eighth notes, like hopefully you can hear that rhythm in the Save Me patterns. And also the way that I'm laying my hands right now, whenever I hit my lowest E, you should be able to hear a slight harmonic, so that should sonically be able to give you a little bit of distinction about which string I'm playing and when maybe the lowest string is sticking out as opposed to other strings within the rhythm of this song. So sometimes it's just straight eighth notes across, the string 6 through 4, like. But occasionally it will subdivide further than that into 16th notes, where you get this almost like a ghost note or ghost picking, where within the chord you've got back and forth between your bassier side of your chords in strings 6 and 5 and your higher side of the chords in strings 4 and 3, where you're subdividing into 16th notes, and it can sound a bit more like this. So hopefully you can hear also the difference between just the straight eighth notes and the subdivision. Let me play real quick just the straight eighth notes. As opposed to subdividing. So that's something to practice and play along with different live versions of Dave Matthews playing and try to get the rhythm down on that. There's not a whole lot of specific or specificity in what he's doing. Sometimes he subdivides and gets kind of strummy with his right hand. Sometimes it's more just straight eighth notes. But that's something that you can listen to. I mean, every time that it gets played, it's probably played different. As far as the chords go, your opening chord is going to be a G5 chord with an octave added on it. I'm playing it with my first finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, ring finger on the 5th string, 5th fret, and pinky finger on the 4th string, 5th fret. If your open 3rd string sneaks in there, that's okay. But you definitely don't want your 1st and 2nd strings in this. So what I do is I kind of lay my fingers down a little bit so that my first finger, the arch of my first finger, is muting those higher strings. So after you strum in the G, you then are going to hit the 4th string 3rd fret and 4th string 5th fret. You can do it with your first finger and ring finger, or first finger and pinky finger. So that's the first chord. Second chord, exact same shape, just move it down 2 frets to an F. And same thought too with your first finger, how you're going to let your first finger lazily lay across these back strings to mute them, so that as you strum across strings 6, 5, and 4, you can get the tone out of those shredded notes, but you can still strum across the rest of the strings to give this percussive feel that the song has without fretting any of the higher strings. So your third chord is going to be a standard C chord. All right, so it does that back and forth for a couple rounds. Leading into the chorus, or maybe coming out of the pre-chorus or whatever, you have got a walk down to an E minor out of a G. So you play a standard G chord. I've got my ring finger on the 6th string 3rd fret. I've got my second finger on the 5th string 2nd fret, and I've got my pinky finger pulled back to the 1st string 3rd fret. You're going to walk down to an E minor, meaning that you move out of your G major formation to this F sharp formation. I pick up my ring finger and I put down my second finger to the 6th string 2nd fret, and I strum across that. The 5th string will be muted by how I've got my second finger laying, and it's okay to strum the open 4, the open 3, the open 2, and the fretted 1. And then you move into a standard E minor. So you've got, and it goes to an A minor, and then it moves into a standard C before it gets back into the rhythm. All right, the next part of the song, the bridge, which is kind of difficult because it's stretchy chords. You're going to move up here to a B minor. This is the way you're going to play the B minor. It's like the second chord of number 41, if you're familiar with that. Anyway, I digress. So, second chord of number 41. The way that you make this B minor is you put your ring finger on the 6th string 7th fret. You put your your second finger on the 5th string 5th fret. You put your pointer finger on the 4th string 4th fret, and then you put your pinky finger back on the 3rd string 7th fret. So that's the first chord of the bridge. From that, you're going to move, your pinky finger is going to stay right here the entire time, which is going to be a pain as you stretch. But after this chord, you're going to then pick up your ring finger. You're going to move your second finger to the 6th string 5th fret. You're going to move your pointer finger to the 4th string 4th fret, and your pinky finger remains where it is. If your 4th string rings open, that's fine. If your 4th string gets muted out by your first finger on the 5th string, it's okay if it gets muted out as well. But that's your second chord. So first is the B minor, second is this sort of A major-y type of chord. Your third chord, you're going to take your ring finger and you're going to put it on the 4th string 5th fret, and you're going to lower your first finger down to the 4th string 3rd fret. Pinky remaining where it was, second finger remaining where it was. And you're going to get this kind of an A minor-y feel. That's the third chord in the progression. Then the fourth chord in the bridge progression is you're just going to invert where you've got your first finger and your second finger respectively. Your first finger will move down to the 3rd fret of the 6th string, and your second finger will move up to the 5th fret of the 5th string. So you're moving just 2 fingers from there to there, and you're strumming strings 6 through 4. In none of this do you want strings 1 and 2 to be active there. They're muted out by how you're holding the rest of your fingers. That is the bridge. So, and it kind of keeps that same driven rhythm that exists in the chorus or in the verses the whole time. So keep that same driven rhythm. Coming out of that, you go back into, Dave Matthews is singing Save Me, and you go back into a G, to an F, to the C. Now in the C, you can hear the rest of the band turning it into a C7. And in order to achieve that sound, you would take your standard C chord and take your pinky finger and place it down on the 3rd string, 3rd fret. So you get that 7 sound. You can also hear the bass walking back up into the G by going. And that's kind of fun to do on guitar as well. The way that you do that is in your C7, you would then strum still these fingers right here, strum and hit your lowest E note, and then move your first finger to the 6th string 1st fret, move your first finger to the 6th string 2nd fret, and then pull up into a standard G chord. And it would sound like. Or something along those lines. So those are the chords to Save Me. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how to approach it.